Hola Bandidos, ¿cómo estamos? Welcome to Mel's Magic Official. I'm Magic Mel, and this is In the Shadows, my spirit guide. Welcome to episode 21 of season 7. You know what's funny, guys? So much happens within the day. So this is becoming somewhat of a daily show of Mel's Magic Official. Why not? Why not? I've cleared a lot of my schedule to dedicate myself to this show because it lights me up from the inside. And it's also interesting because it helps me, I take my own advice. Today, I literally had to work through a fear that has been lingering maybe for the past week. Remember, we're pulling all of these shadow cards. So I watch my own episodes and I listen to myself and I take in my own advice because I'm not just telling you guys what to do or how to go about things. I need to take my own advice because I'm just human too. And I feel a lot of us are called to take these leaps of faith. And they're no longer these baby steps towards faith and courage. The universe is asking us to take quantum leaps into a new way of being. And letting go of a familiar pattern, whether that's a way of thinking, a way of doing things. Remember, doing for the sake of doing in order to comfort our discomfort of being at peace and at rest. That's an old programming. Or falling back into doing something that perhaps brings us money, but that deep down we know does not really fulfill us, does not really light us up, or is just a band-aid to make money. And I'm not judging that. I'm just trying to, in my own way, my own life, come face to face with my own shadows because I need to walk the talk, not to impress you. But this is a real journey here at Mel's Magic Official. So whatever I'm sharing with you is from my own experience. And I feel that's only when it becomes a valid truth. We all have truths to share, truths and wisdom that has been sifted through or distilled from our own experiences. So this nagging, I've been a little bit torn in my energy, and I think I've shared a little bit about it. It might seem trivial. You might think, what the hell, Magic Mel? That is not a big deal. But we all have our own struggles. We all have our own battles to deal with. That's something I want to clarify also. For example, you might think, oh, Magic Mel, she's got everything figured out. You don't know what's going on behind the scenes. You don't know my internal battles. I don't know yours. And no matter where we are in our journey, the battles continue because we're not spared. We're not at the end or at some state of perfection. Perfection only happens when we're not in this vessel anymore, because as long as we're in this body, we are imperfect, and that is perfect in the sense that it allows for expansion, it allows for growth, it allows for unfolding. That is life. The good thing with me nowadays is that I have such an underlying faith and trust in the larger scheme of things that I don't get tripped up anymore about little things that might have stressed me out, like really stressed me out in the past. For example, it's quite funny actually. I went to wash my car and I know I should have kept my things before hoovering, and I hoovered up my like really nice scarf. I'm like, damn it. And the guy was not there to open the machine, so I'm like, shit. Oh, sorry. I need to plug in my computer. I did do a sound check, so I'm trying to prepare for technical glitches, but it was not plugged in. So I hoovered up my scarf. And then I don't know, in Spain there's a platform called Wallapop where you can sell secondhand things, which is super useful. So I was trying to sell my vinyl player because I want a vinyl player. You've got a whole bunch of vinyls there. I want an old school one, a really vintage one. So I sold mine and I shipped it across Spain. Although a part of me was saying, you shouldn't ship this thing. You should just have it for sale and have somebody pick it up. But somebody bought it and I'm like, okay, I'm going to pack this thing up. And it arrived broken. I lost like 100 euros. The small things. Or this morning I woke up and I'm like, something feels different when I went outside. and I have this huge umbrella that shields part of the house, and it's like a 6 meter spanning diameter spanning umbrella, like in the restaurants. And the thing was gone. I'm like, where the hell is this huge umbrella? It can't just disappear. Until I figured out it was in the swimming pool, and I'm like, how the hell am I going to bring this huge umbrella sunken in the swimming pool up? Anyway, I managed. But small things, and they're not a big deal. But if we're in the wrong mood and look at it in the wrong way, small things can pile up and can seem as evidence that things are going wrong. But when we have faith, nothing really matters that much anymore. And that's also what I had to tell myself, because my fear, I'll tell you, at the moment was like, there was part of me was thinking, okay, Magic Mel, it's peak season in Spain. You should be focusing on Airbnb. It's everyone is focusing on the peak season, and that's when all the tourists come and you can make money and this and that. But deep down, I knew it's not really what's lighting me up. And I'm very sensitive with energies. And I know it can bring in money, but that's just my mind rationalizing. And I'm talking to you about this because I want to share a little bit how I differentiated my mind chatter from my intuition and my soul speaking, because I feel that's important when we make decisions. In the past, I would get so overwhelmed when faced with a decision because I essentially didn't trust my whole self, and I would go up into my mind. And my mind is such that it spins into at least 10 different directions, playing out potential scenarios. And I get so lost in my own labyrinth that I just overcomplicate and not really get to any conclusion, because at the end of the day, we make the best decisions when we come from our whole self, not just from the mind, not just from a part of our being, but from our whole emotional being also, from our gut response, from our heart response. So I know when I'm in my mind, as soon as I start spinning stories, my body, I'm a generator, human design generator, which has also helped me when I found that out, because it basically, as a generator, we rely on our sacral, on our gut response. It's a basic, very simple yes-no mechanism. The trick is to trust that mechanism. It's expansion or contraction, yes or no. If you give this yes-no mechanism a few seconds too much, your mind starts coming in, and your mind will start justifying or start convincing you or saying you should, could, would. So in order to avoid the mind chatter is to really trust in the moment, what is my body saying? And that is so scary. It's extremely scary because it's just so simple. It seems too simple. That's what I also want to get down to. So I had to ask myself, okay, I did pull a whole bunch of cards, and I swear it was the most beautiful, because I asked for guidance, and it was the most beautiful spread. I took a picture, the most beautiful reading, and I thanked my Asgard team, I thanked my spirit team, because it couldn't have been any clearer. But I was only able to read it by trusting my intuition. So how do we trust our intuition? It's the deep knowing. It's coming back to our body, because our body can register vibrations and emotions are energy in motion. The mind can't do that. The mind just works with thoughts. So in order to connect with a deeper knowing, we have to come back to our body. We have to trust and feel safe in our body. Trust that our body is able to guide us on a psychic level. Our body is a psychic tool, because being made up of ideally more than 70% of water, we can register vibrations. That's why water is such a good conduit also for consciousness, for insight, for channelings. That's why it's also so important for us to stay hydrated, because we can pick up on things more. We are more sensitive to energies. Speaking of which, I'm looking at call it pond water. It's actually my green juice. Remember, I ordered that juicer, that Nama 2 juicer, which was interesting also. Okay, short anecdote. The moment I ordered my new juicer, the old juicer just fell apart. It completely fell apart. It's as if the universe is saying, finally, we're breaking this one so you can be totally committed to the new one, which was a nice metaphor. Sometimes we get stuck in between. We're scared of letting go of the old and fully stepping into the new, which is actually the theme of this episode. So I had to look at the cards and not just take in the formal meaning of the cards, but look at the entire composition, the colors. And the intuition works like that. It's more of a larger view processing system. It's not this pure factual, and by factual I mean this pure rational logical thing. You kind of step out and get a bigger vision and see what your body is saying. And sometimes I semi-close my eyes because it's intuition is the sight beyond our eyesight. It's a deeper way of seeing. It's third eye seeing. And then I've really directly asked my, excuse me guys, my nose is start itching, my spirit guides are around. I directly also asked, remember I also always tell you, ask and you shall receive. Well, I do the same. I said, guys, spirit team, I need a clear answer now because I don't like this split energy. And split energy, I mean, for example, you desire something, you want to do something, but part of you believes it's either not possible or you're not deserving or it might not happen. That is when our energy, our laser beam, like in Star Wars, that can lift anything, that can make anything happen, is split. That's why lasers are so powerful. It's a concentrated stream of energy. If we're not focused, if there is a split, then obviously the energy gets split and it's diffused. It's not as strong. So when we have some resistance or some disbelief, then our manifestation power is split. It's normal, and it might delay the manifestation. We have to fully stand behind our desire and our belief and trust. And again, I'm saying this to you just like I'm telling myself. I told myself, Magic Mel, back to basics. What do you really want? What do you believe in? Do you love yourself enough? Do you trust yourself enough to take this leap of faith? And for me, taking this leap of faith at the moment consists of fully cutting off anything that doesn't light me up. What's the music? Here. When you know that one thing that lights me up is Mel's Magic Official, it literally I don't feel drained after recording a video. Quite to the contrary, I feel lit up, and that is an indicator that's the right thing to do. And you might think, oh my God, you have so much energy to put out these videos. Actually, it doesn't take that much energy. It gives me energy, and that is the indication that is the right thing to do. Things that bring us joy and that are in our highest alignment, they won't drain us when we come into alignment. More so when we're fully behind it with our belief in everything. So I also told myself, Magic Mel, isn't it time to stop procrastinating and postponing? Haven't you postponed so many things in your life already? And the mind, again, can come up with so many excuses to postpone. You're not quite ready. When are we really quite ready? You know, the mind always says, you're not quite ready, you still need to practice, you still need to do this, not now, later. But when is later really? Isn't the now, as cliche as it sounds, the only time you really have? And isn't the sense of worthiness I've spoken to you about in the past videos, isn't our worthiness, doesn't it come hand in hand with our trust in our capabilities, that we are ready now? That's why the sentence, the declaration, I am, is so fundamentally important. It is not, I aspire to become. No, that is postponing things into the future. What if I say, I am powerful now. I am complete now. I am healed now. I am powerful now. I have everything that I need now. That gets rid of all delays and postponements and makes us accountable to the present moment, which is the only time I really have. What if I start now? Our ego gets scared because it means accountability. It means taking a risk in the present moment. And by taking that risk, we don't know what will happen. At least if I spin the story in my mind about the future story seems more appealing because it's something I can control with my mind. But if I start acting in the present moment, I perhaps do not know what the outcome is. It's taking a risk. So I had to ask myself, what is it that you really want? What is it that really brings you energy? Aren't you worthy enough to dedicate yourself to what lights you up starting now, not tomorrow, now, Magic Mel? What is holding you back? Is it the fear of scarcity, of a lack of money? And they're valid fears. I remember I conversed with my fears. I said, "What are you scared of, fear?" And the fear is like, "Yeah, I'm scared that you're being reckless, that you're not accountable for the future, that you're not saving up, that you're not." And I had to counter, I had to dialogue with the fear. And I said, "Look, can you trust me that by dedicating myself to what really brings me joy, the abundance will flow? And that by me owning who I really am, isn't that coming into alignment with my highest prosperity? My highest prosperity coming not just from me, but from divine inspiration. Because when we come into alignment, it's not anymore about just us, the little me. It's about the big you, the soul you, the higher version of you. And by higher, I don't mean in terms of hierarchy that our little ego self is less than. No. But I mean higher in terms of our potential and our essence and our alignment. And when we are in alignment, we are like a sword that can cut through illusions of our procrastination, of our deceits, of our self deceit. There was a card also that I pulled, it was a Seven of Swords. And the Seven of Swords reminded me, Magic Mel, are you deceiving yourself? Do you have imposter syndrome? What are you running away from? The cards, that's why I love the cards so much. They are a mirror of truth. Yes, they are symbolic and you have to decode the cards in your own way using your intuition, but they always speak the truth. It's like looking into a mirror. That's why sometimes when I deep down don't want to hear the answer, I don't ask the cards. I don't always ask the cards when I know I'm not ready to face the truth. But when the moment comes, like today, that unlike before, I cannot stand my own split energy for a long time anymore. I don't like this inner conflict because it really feels like being pulled in several directions. I like to be in one place energetically with my presence, with my body, with my mind here, not a little bit in the past and a little bit in the future. I want to be right here, right now because it feels good, it feels solid. So I notice my dissonance when I'm not quite here, when something is pulling me back, when my own resistance is calling for my attention, quite frankly, because that's what it is. Our resistance signals us that, hey, before you move forward, sorry guys, there's like a hair. Before you move forward, there's something you need to deal with here. There's something that needs to be internally resolved. There's some internal conflict we need to attend to. And that's when having a dialogue with yourself, spending time with yourself, getting clarity for yourself and from yourself is so essential. And that's usually the time when we distract ourselves because it seems uncomfortable to sit with ourselves. But clarity only comes really from within. And of course, we can have reflectors. And by reflectors, it can be maybe you have a conversation with someone, maybe you read your cards, maybe you look at something from Instagram, maybe you ask for signs, yes. But at the end of the day, the reflection is a reflection of your clarity that comes from within you. So I looked at the cards with my intuition. I was thankful because I got the deeper knowing. I could sense it. And it was not, I knew what the right thing to do was because it felt like a relief. It felt peaceful. The right decision for me, and by right, I mean the one that's in my highest, in my alignment, feels grounding. It's not dispersed. It's not this frantic, anxious energy that is usually when I make a decision from my mind. Let me know if this resonates with you. If we start overthinking and over rationalizing, it's a spinning sensation. It's not a grounded, peaceful, full body sensation. So the intuition is almost like a level deeper than our mind, a more grounded way of going about things, and it's very present. And you feel it. Like right now, I'm doing it. I'm going into my body. It's putting our awareness into our body, from the mind into our body. Because remember, our whole body is, our being is not a fragmented thing. Our body is in the present moment, and our body speaks to us in the present moment. Our body is right here, right now. And it's via our emotions and our sensations that we can access the dissonance or the alignment. And the alignment and going with our highest, with our soul's calling, feels grounded. That's how right feels to me. It feels like this. And there's not much else to it. There's no story around it. It just feels grounded and solid. And it's something to work on. It's not something that because I was so disembodied, quite frankly, meaning felt so unsafe in my body. I never understood my body. I didn't understand my feelings, my emotions. I was emotionally illiterate. I didn't understand what felt right and what felt wrong. I was just basically constantly feeling anxious, to be honest. I mean, I laugh about it, but it was quite, looking back, I don't ever want to go back there. So I sat with it today with my cards, and I also asked for signs. And I wrote it down because it's funny, it's humorous. I went to the local shop not far, and there was this guy who parked, who from a satellite dish company, and on his car, big letters, was written "Believe in better." And I picked it up. I could have just not seen it or not thought about it, but because I asked for signs, I'm also perceptive. I'm open. And for me, the decision in going back to the Airbnb, it would have been a decision that would have confirmed my disbelief that I'm worthy of something better, something more fulfilling, something more exciting, something more soulful. So the sentence "believe in better" was like the universe or my guide saying, "Hey, Magic Mel, believe that something better is around the corner. Do you trust?" So that sign came up. Then I went to the beach also, because at the beach, with the waves and everything, you get so tired and you get in this half dazed mood and you just relax, which is something I do quite often these days. And it's not something I used to do. I used to be so like on speed all the time, hectic, frantic, headless chicken, ungrounded. Nowadays, I just say, you know what, screw it. I'm going to the beach and I'm going to relax. I'm going to come back to my body. And on my way back from the beach here, I was driving, and on the windshield was something. And I was, I was trying not to get too distracted because obviously I'm driving. But I thought, what the hell is that thing on my windshield? And it was a bug. And it wasn't, and I, at one point I'm like, okay, is it inside? But it was outside on my windshield. And I was like, okay, let's not focus on the bug now, Magic Mail, focus on the road. But I thought, isn't that strange? I'm literally like driving at 80 kilometers an hour and there's this bug that's stuck to my windshield. And when I parked at home, that bug was still on there. So I went out and looked at the windshield, and you know what kind of bug it was? Totally trips me out. It was a ladybug. And a ladybug is a sign of luck. I don't know if in your culture and your upbringing it is, but definitely as for me, a ladybug with 2 dots, which I thought was very bizarre. And I was so excited. I wanted to take a picture and actually post it on my community board of my channel to show you. But the bug, when I went in to get my camera, the bug had flown away. But I thought, how strange is that? How can little ladybug be stuck, like hang on to my windshield, which is usually quite slippery, Again, I saw it as a sign, and I thank my guides. So just for fun, I invite you, if you're stuck in some situation and you don't know you're at an impasse, why don't you open yourself up to guidance? Let me know if you've had a situation where you feel that you've received guidance. I love these stories because our guides are so humorous. They bring us signs that they feel we will get, that we will pay attention to, like a satellite truck parking in front of me with the big letters "Believe in better." I mean, it couldn't have been any better, the message. So please share with me in the comments box below. I'd love to hear your stories because, yeah, they're smart. They're smart, these guys. Our Asgard team is smart. All in all, to say that I got the confirmation that I was looking for, and I no longer feel scattered. Because the past few days I've been like, yes, I want to, but I don't know what to do. My mind is saying something, my soul is saying something different. I was just fragmented. That's not a pleasant state of being. I don't enjoy that state of being anymore. So I told myself, Mel, you got to deal with this. Magic Mel, we're going to spend today and sit with it and come to a decision internally. Let's check if this is still recording. It is. And nobody's here to witness this internal processing that I'm going through. And I'm sure you're going through similar processes yourself. These are these internal battles that nobody sees. It's us versus us, our lower self versus our higher self, our soul versus our devil aspects, love versus fear. Remember we spoke about this? The battle is real, guys. And as I said, it matters. My decision matters. Your decision matters. Leaning into trust, having faith, even though proof is not manifest yet, is huge. It's going against the grain of everything. It's going against your old programming. It's being the hero of your own story. So if you're going through something similar, I congratulate you. Yeah, and I congratulate myself also. Cheers. What day is it today? Monday. Well, here at Mel's Magic Official, every day is special. Every day is worth celebrating. So I feel congruent, I feel peaceful about that. It doesn't mean that the fear is somewhere in the background now. It's not anymore in the forefront. And you know how often we pull the shadow, the devil card these past few weeks? That was my devil. Fear can be a devil aspect. But again, can we extend some compassion to our own fears and our own devil aspects who just want to keep us safe, maybe? Like my fear was just concerned about me, to be honest, quite frankly. I also had to relay the information to my mother in the Philippines because she's like, how's the Airbnb? I said, Ma, I'm not doing Airbnb this year. And I had to be so congruent and strong in myself to appease her own anxiety, because usually her anxiety will trigger my anxiety, but only if I'm not strong in my own conviction. So I had to be convinced enough of my own decision to deal with her concern. And it doesn't mean that I know what's around the corner. I don't. But that's precisely the point. We don't know what's around the corner. And what if, instead of expecting the worst, we expect the best? That's where I had to come back to my own mental hygiene, my own pull out the weeds of my negative thoughts, of my garden of consciousness, and say, Magic Mel, what are you thinking? What are you believing? Remember, with every belief, thought, action, we're opening new timelines. Choices open new timelines. Are you going to keep yourself stuck in a fear of the past because you don't trust yourself? You don't trust life enough to catch you as you take this leap forward? What are you projecting in your mind into the future? Are you dreading? Are you falling into catastrophic thinking? Or are you soothing yourself and conjuring up a beautiful story? Again, I wrote down a lot in my diary today because I had to write out the words so I could read them also to myself, so they're not just in my head. That's why externalizing our thoughts is so important. In moments of doubt, I read back what I wrote down. I said, Magic Mel, this is the conclusion you came to. I have to remind myself. Remember, we spoke about it's okay to deviate off base. It's okay to feel fear. It's okay to have doubt. The important thing is to find our way back, to have the tools to find our way back to home base. Our solidity, our groundedness, our deeper knowing, our inner calling, our higher expansion, our higher expression. And making a decision that feels grounded and peaceful, funnily enough, also feels expansive. It feels, there's this curious energy about it also. Because again, I told you, I had to tell myself, what if instead of becoming bankrupt and ending up under the bridge and not having enough to eat, Magic Mel, what if a miracle is just around the corner? Doesn't that make you feel better? And that thought made me feel better. I said, yeah, I trust myself. I trust the energy that I'm putting out. I trust the universe. Who knows? Instead of being scared of tomorrow, how about being excited about tomorrow? So I have to tell myself everything that I'm sharing with you. I'm not immune to to being human. To being human. So if you're at an impasse and you're also having to make difficult decisions, I'm with you. It's not easy. But try and differentiate the chatter of your mind from your deeper knowing. Come back into your body. Call out for help from your spirit team. Be open to receive guidance. Create some spaciousness to sit with yourself. Journal. Externalize your thoughts. Give yourself some time. I didn't make this decision overnight. I spent a good week now pulling cards, leaving the cards on the table, reflecting on them, when I pass by. It takes sometimes a layering of information. Sometimes it's not this, snap decision, instant decision. That is also, I guess, a part of our impatience or our desire for control, our desire for knowing certainty right now. What if we can allow the answer to our decision to unfold gradually from within? How about allowing ourselves to come to a grounded decision and not make hasty, impulsive, reckless decisions out of fear, out of a need for instant certainty? It's a process. And again, having this larger perspective, we don't know what is around the corner, guys. And we never will. That's why life without faith is anxiety ridden. It's so important to have a deeper trust in ourselves, in a higher power, in our spirit team, in life, that all is well, that everything is unfolding for our highest, that it is safe to follow our calling, that it is time now to do that and not postpone it again. Because when does tomorrow really arrive? We can push it into eternity, or we can access the eternal now and surrender and really come alive in the process. So I want to leave you with this. I was going to pull some cards, but I'm going to open episode 22, which is going to be the final episode of this season 7, which I'm very proud of. I feel I've come a little bit more into my own essence. I feel it. So happy to hear any of your comments, your own stories. Remember to share with me if you had experiences of your own angels or guides connecting with you, sending you messages. And if there were fun ones especially. I'm sure there were humorous. Again, if you like my messages, I really appreciate you liking, sharing, and subscribing to my channel so you can receive more. It's becoming really a daily show of Mel's Magic Official. And know that I'm a coach. If you need guidance and tools to help you in your own decision making, to arrive at a decision that is more wholesome, that respects and takes into consideration your whole being, not just your mind, not just your fears, I can help you with that. And you know that I'm a tarot reader. I do private readings. All the details are in the description box below. And, oh yes, I forgot to announce, the winner of yesterday's draw is Barnaby. Barnaby, you want a free reading? If you want to win a free reading with me, just comment in the comments box below the word magic, and you shall be entered in the tombola, in the lucky draw. And again, if you're shy, if you're like, oh my God, I don't want to direct one-on-one Zoom reading with Magic Mel, then I can tap into your energy with your permission and read the cards for you and record the video and send it to you. Okay? So we're doing this tombola thing. Gosh, they're like it's a hair on my nose. We're doing this tombola until next Thursday, and then we'll come up with something fresh and new because I don't want to get bored, and you don't want to get bored with Mel's Magic Official. So we're always inventing new things. And why not be playful? Why not be playful, guys? Okay? So stay tuned. Comment the word magic in the comments box below if you want to enter the lucky draw for tomorrow. And I'm super excited for the reading that I'm going to pull for you for episode 22 coming up after this one. Remember, Owl and I've got your back. We're in this together, and it's a process. Trust yourselves, always. Magic Mel loves you. Ciao, bandidos.